Today, I'll be demonstrating this passport wallet for you, as well as showing you a couple of our brand new private stock versions. The Traveler Passport Holder is designed based off of our Fat Herbie design that you can see here, and you'll notice that the Fat Herbie is slightly shorter. We made the Traveler slightly taller than the Herbie to more elegantly accommodate a passport. Traveler Passport Holder, of course, has that one large passport slot on the inside, two card holders on the left, and an extra large bill slot on the outside. And let me give you a little demonstration on how this wallet design works. I love the Herbie and the Traveler Passport Holder for this exterior bill slot. The bill slot is much taller than most wallets, so it will fit all the world's paper currency, and I find it to be tremendously easy to use. This thumb notch on the outside, I like to put my left thumb on, and then I like to grab the bills with my other hand, and as you can see here, I'm able to hold a ton of cash in the Herbie. And on the inside here, I've got this loaded up in a couple different funky ways. For me, when I use this wallet, I like to put 3, maybe 4 cards in each slot, but usually 3 is my ideal. Right now, I have 6 cards on that top left slot. There's 3 cards in the bottom left and then 1 on each of the cards on the right. You can certainly hold multiple cards in each of these slots, but let me show you what the 6 cards look like here. This is a lot of cards that I normally wouldn't do, but it certainly can hold them. Let me give you a little word of caution here. When you put 6 cards in a slot like I have here, the leather will want to conform and shape to anything you put inside of it. So if you go from 6 cards down to 1, you'll notice that the card slot is a little bit more loose. And let me try to demonstrate that there. So the general advice here is you can always add more cards to the slots, but when you start to reduce your carry, you might have a little bit of a looseness on each of those card pockets. And back to the Traveler, this is our standard makeup right now. This is the English tan double, and it happens to be our most popular leather and color. It's a full grain vegetable tan leather that ages very, very nicely and will last you for the rest of your life. In fact, we guarantee it. This large compartment, if you're not holding a passport, can also fit things like paper receipts, extra cash, or even more cards. Let's skip on to some of the private stock stuff. First up is the naturally shrunken bison leather from Horween Leather Company. This is a relatively new leather and not much of it has been produced. This is a really unique piece of leather. You'll see some other bison around the world, but this is the only one that is vegetable tanned, naturally shrunken, and hand tipped. And what hand tipped means is that the finisher at the tannery has taken a bit of dye and has brushed it over the peaks of this texture. The result is that you get this beautiful two-toned effect that you might be able to see down the spine of the wallet. You'll see the peaks of the texture are a little bit darker and the valleys are a little bit lighter. I love this leather from Horween. It's a new leather called Yellowstone. And here's some more fun stuff. We've got some gray leathers in the batch today. I've been sort of fixated on the notion of introducing some grays into our product line. We're not ready to do that yet, but I did have some concepts here that I wanted to show you. So I'm calling this one Dove Gray Vintage Dover on top of black. And on the inside, we've got some hidden card slots. Here's another one that I'm calling Slate. This is the Slate Vintage Dover on top of the Dove Gray Vintage Dover. And we've got the same concept on the outside. I really like the addition of hidden card slots to this design as well as the Fat Herbie. It gives you extra large compartments on the inside. So some people that want to maybe carry their family's passports with them, this will hold 2 passports on the inside. Here's another one with the Dove Gray and Slate Vintage. This time it is inverted. So we've got the lighter gray color on top of the dark. And then on the outside, we have the dark on top of light. Another beautiful piece here. I'm not sure if we're able to do this gray color leather again from Horween. In fact, I'm trying to get a color like this one on this cypress leather that we've been using. I'm still waiting to see some samples from the tannery. Here's a look at the vintage Dover in that Dove Gray color. And we looked at our standard English tan first, but this is a Western texture on that same exact leather. And I love what the Western texture does to the appearance of the leather. It gives it a lot of depth and interest. And I just find this texture to be beautiful. It's my favorite texture that Horween imparts into all of their leathers. And we've got a bit of a collection going on for the Western texture. This is Western texture color number 8 Dublin. And I actually happen to like the Western texture color 8 Dublin more than the smooth version. Let me show you the smooth version now. This is what the smooth color 8 Dublin looks like. It's a little bit flatter in color, of course, because the wax layer on the surface has sort of evened everything out. But if I flex this leather, you'll notice down the spine, it starts to change a little bit more of like this burnt cherry color, definitely more burgundy tones in it. There's something about the Western texture that brings out a little bit more of those lighter burnt cherry kind of colors. And I just love it. So color 8 Western textured Dublin leather, we also have some Color 8 shell cordovan. Now this piece here, I think is my favorite from this drop. And I wanted to show you this one next to the Color 8 Dublin, just to give you a sense of the difference in these two leathers. You'll see the color is slightly different, although the intention was for these colors to match perfectly. The Color 8 Dublin leather came after the Color 8 shell cordovan. They do appear slightly different to me, but they are both very beautiful. The other thing that's very different between these two leathers is the luster. You'll notice that the shell cordovan is very bright, shiny, and mirror-like. This is what you should expect from every piece of shell cordovan, including the Western shell cordovan. One more little bit of detail to show you on this. I love the hand-stained edges on this wallet, and we've been doing this from time to time. It seems like people really appreciate it. I find it sort of elevates the look and the appearance of the wallet to a large extent. Another Western shell cordovan piece. This time it is in Western whiskey shell cordovan. This one has been hand stitched with a cream color stitching. It's got a little bit more of a bold and chunky thread look, which some people like and some people don't. We offer it in both ways. And here's another one, Western natural shell cordovan this time. I thought this would be a good chance for me to show you the difference between the natural shell cordovan and the whiskey shell cordovan. You will notice that the whiskey shell cordovan on top here is slightly darker, a little bit more golden, and has a slight bit more of a yellow tone to it when compared to the natural that almost has this like reddish kind of orangey tan to it, which is interesting because no color has been applied to the natural shell cordovan. And here's a total stunner. If you watched the last video, I sort of teased this one in there. This is Epic Splatter, all reverse Color 8 shell cordovan. I love the look. Everything about this traveler passport holder I think is incredibly stunning. We got the same hand stained edge on this guy, and then on the inside, more of that epic splatter. Fan favorite here. This is the skip finish shell cordovan. I really need to get some more skip finish leather from him. He's been trying different sample techniques, different versions of how to finish the leather. I think he's using sponges. I'm actually not certain how he's doing it, but it seems like people are really appreciating the skip finish shell cordovan. This might be the last skip finish shell that we've made a wallet out of. I don't think I have any more of this. Definitely great to see it both on the inside and outside of this guy. This one is also hand stitched with a little bit of a thicker thread. Here's another total stunner. When I was looking at the photos of all these wallets, this one also really stuck out to me. Marbled Color 8 shell cordovan, a great variation on that classic Color 8. What I love about it is the color depth. So you can really see the range of color here from those a little bit darker browns, some burgundy tones in there, of course, and then ranges down to the lighter, more natural colors of the leather. And that's because the tannery has layered on several layers of stain coats and then has slowly scraped them away, which gives you this really interesting visual effect. I love it. And here's a look at the inside again. Another absolute stunner, total crazy piece here. This is all reverse ultraviolet shell cordovan, but this really interesting texture. I'm not actually sure how this texture is achieved by the tannery, but there's something really special about it. A little bit more of a pink color on the reverse ultraviolet shell cordovan. Another big thing to note here is the hand stitching along the inside and outside. And here's another, all of them are great. I love color 4 shell cordovan, and that's what we have here. You'll see a dynamic range of color, a little bit more brown at this angle, but as I tilt it down, you'll see some more of these reddish sort of tan shades appear. It's a really beautiful thing about color 4 is just how dynamic this color is. You can really see what I'm talking about right there. This angle a little bit more brown, this angle is a little bit more red. Love the range between those two. And the inside, we have some hidden card slots here. Now these hidden card slots are made in another special leather. This is the blonde 1940s calfskin. Another great color here. This is one of the few blue shades that Horween leather does. This is called Intense Blue Shell Cordovan. It's a little bit more navy. It's also a little bit less vibrant and less blue than the Denim Blue Shell Cordovan. So people that are looking for a darker blue, this Intense Blue Shell Cordovan is the way to go. And here's another one of my favorites. I think this is top 3 for me for the event today. This is Violet Shell Cordovan. Something magical in this particular piece of leather because the vibrance in this violet shell is really, really special. It's something you have to see in person. There's a really nice glow to the color on this, and I'm not sure what that is coming from. Another piece here in color 4 shell cordovan. This time the hidden card slots are made in natural shell cordovan, and on the outside, color 4 shell sitting on top of natural shell. And the last one of the day is another rare shell cordovan color. This is cigar shell cordovan. kind of similar to the color number 8 shell cordovan, except the cigar shell is more of a straightforward brown shade, a little bit more of like a dark coffee color, where the color 8 has some more of those burgundy, a little bit more red in the color 8 shell cordovan. Let me give you a look at the inside of this one. So coming back to my favorite, I just really love this Western texture on color 8 shell cordovan, as well as all the other colors. But there's something special about the hand-stained edges on this passport holder, along with the inside center here. That reverse piece in the center is a little bit darker and more red than what we normally see on the reverse side of cordovan. And there's something about how all this looks with the framed out stained edges, the darker color in the center. I just think this is a really special traveler passport holder. If you have any questions about our passport holder or any of the private stock, maybe you want something custom made, leave us a comment here on the YouTube video. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.